Good morning, welcome to Morning Maths. Let's get started with day 8. Make sure you're ready with your pencil, with your book, with your paper, and let's go. Question 1. Value of the 8 in 438. So here is a picture of 438. It takes up a lot of space. 400s, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're really big, so as you can see, they're really big. And we've got 3 tens, 1, 2, 3. And we've got 8 units. They're small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see 8 units is not quite as big as 110. Even 8 units doesn't reach 110. You need 10 units to have as much as 110. Anyway, there's a picture of the 438. Let's write 438. This is question 1. 438. Value of the 8. What's the 8 worth? Our columns are units, otherwise known as ones, tens and hundreds. So it's worth 8 units. That's what 8 units looks like, that part of the number. It's actually the smallest part of the number. 3 tens is bigger than it, and of course 4 hundreds is bigger than it. So the smallest part of the number is 8 units. And this is our answer, this is what we're writing down, 8 units. So make sure you write that for number 1. 8 units, in brackets I put the answer in digits, which is of course just 8. So there's question 1. Make sure you keep up, and I'm going to move on to question 2. Question 2. 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5. I can see if I do this on my number line, I'm going to run out of space. So I'm going to just do a little bit more of my number line. After 12 comes 13. I can see I'm going to need that 13. So I'm just going to extend my number line. 8 plus 5. So 8 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 13. If you did that on your ruler, you hopefully can count up to 30 on your ruler, and you won't run out of space, will you? But I ran out of my space. I ran out of space, but you can always add more. You can always add to any number. 8 plus 5 equals 13. And we go on to question 3. Question 3. Let's copy down the question. It's 10 take away 3. 10 take away 3. I do have space for this. We're doing take away minus this sign here. So you have something like 10 sweets. You take away 3. How many would you have? Well, how many will you now have? So you start on 10 and you take away 1, 2, 3, and you get 7. Because 10 take away 3 is 7. Keep up with the copying. I'm going to be moving on to multiplication, which is question 4. Question 4. I think I'll fit it over here. 9 times 2. What is 9 times 2? Well, we could sing our times table songs if you've learnt them already. Or we could get 9 and get it 2 times. So which shall I do? I think I'll do both. Let's get 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tiny little red dots. Hope you can see them. They're so small. 9 of them. Move them up there. 9 times 2 is when you've got 9, but you haven't got it 1 time. You've actually got it 2 times. So I get my 9, and what I can do on the computer, of course, if I press the right buttons, is copy it. There it is. Move it down a bit. There. I copied the 9 at the top. I've got 9 at the bottom because 9 times 2. That's what it is. 9 times 2. You don't have it just once. You don't have just the top line. You have the bottom line as well. 9 times 2. How many is that? We count all those and you'll have the answer. Maybe you can do that before me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Or if you do your 2 times table song, it's 2, it's 4, it's 6, and then it's 8, and then it's 10, it's 12, 14, 16, and then 18. It is 18. Definitely 18 then. Let's get on to question 5. I'm going to go right at the top for question 5. I'm just trying to leave the previous questions on in case some people are trying to keep up. Please do your best to keep up with me. 12 divided by 3. Right, I can draw this one. Let's do some bigger dots this time. That's not even a dot. Bigger dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, we've got 12 dots. We've got to share them between 3. So it's one lot over here. Let's do one lot up here. Let's do one lot down here. So that I'm sharing them into these groups. these 3 little areas where I'm collecting the dots. One over here to make it fair. One for them. Oh, sorry, just give me a minute to ungroup that. One over there, one over there, and one over there. So I had 12. I shared them between 3. So I shared them into 3 groups. This is what division is. There's a group there, and a group there. Shared them into 3 groups. In each group there was 4 because the answer is 4. So number 5, 12 divided by 3 equals 4. And we're done with the year 3 level work. Moving on to year 4. Right, year 4, question 6. Okay, I'll move these away now. Get in the way a little bit. Move that down. Let's see what's under there. Nothing. Okay. Value of the 8 in 4,836. What's the value of the 8? Well, units, tens. It's in the hundreds column, isn't it? Not the thousands. It's in the hundreds column. So the answer is 800s. So for number 6, we'll write down 800s. How do you write that in digits? 800. 800s is, of course, 800. Let's get rid of this in case people need it. And we're on question 7. Year 4s or year 3s doing this work, or year 5s warming up. Question 7 is addition in year 4. So really we're doing year 3 level addition because you've only just started year 4 if you're doing this video. If you are in year 4, you're probably quite near the start of year 4. So we're just making sure we're good with our year 3 level addition, which is 3 digits plus 3 digits. 1, 2, 3 plus 1, 2, 3. That's literally 1, 2, 3, isn't it? So 9 plus 3 is 12. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. I got rid of my number line, didn't I? You can do this on number lines, or this addition if you need to. 4 plus 1 is 6, and we get 612, because plus make things bigger. So when I added something to 489, it went up, and it became 612. Keep up with the copying. I'm going to jump up here for number 8. Got loads of space now. 420 take away 117. Biggest number on the top in take away. That's easily done this time because the biggest number was at the front. But be careful because it isn't always. 420 take away 117. Well, 0 can't take away 7. If you've got no sweets, you can't give away 7. So 0 needs to get some help from the 2. The 2 tens, which goes down to 110. You bring a 10 over here, it makes 10. Take away 7, that is 3. We can do that. 1 take away 1 is 0. 4 take away 1 is 3. So 420 take away 117 is 303. Doing a little check in my head and I'm getting the same thing. So I'm happy that number 8 is correct. And we're moving on to number 9. I hope you're keeping up, year 4s. If you are year 4. 35 multiplied by 3. Grid method for multiplication, isn't it? I'll write the question down first. 35 times 3. I think it's going to be 105. Let's see. Grid. 35 gets smashed up into 30 and 5, or partitioned into 30 and 5. Multiply it by 3. 3 times 3 is, let's do this in blue. 3 times 3 is 9. Place a 0. 3 times 5 is 15. So we've got 90 and 15. 2 answers which we have to put together. This is a sneaky little quick way of adding them. If I just put the plus 15 under the 90, if you know what I'm doing, I'm just saving myself a bit of time by doing my addition here. And I get 105. I thought it was 105 when I did it in my head, so I'm happy. If I can do things in my head, I will tend to do them in my head and on paper, because then I've got a double check. If you're good enough to do this stuff in your head, do it in your head and on paper, give yourself a double check. It's like 2 of you doing the test together in a way. Let's move on to question 10. This is going to be 100 divided by 2. Now you might know this instantly. What is half of 100? That is 100 divided by 2. Some of you know, I'm sure you're wanting to say, it is 50. But let's do it on the bus stop to check. How many 2's into 1? 0 carried a 1. How many 2's in 10? I'll count on my fingers. 2 is 4, it's 6, and it's 8, and it's 10. My finger said 5. How many 2's in 5 is 0. It is 50. So 100 divided by 2 is 50, and question 10 is 50. On to year 5 level work. Year 6s might start here to warm up. Well, it depends what your teacher decides, doesn't it, really? But whatever year group you're in, this is quite a big number for any year group, really. Value of the 7 in 75,324. Here, I've picked the hardest column again. I think this is the hardest column. Units, tens, hundreds, thousands, and then you get 10,000s. So we have 7 10,000s. So the answer is 7 10,000s. Sorry about my writing not being perfect. Well, you're used to that, aren't you? 7 10,000s. Write it in digits. The easiest way is to copy the 7 underneath and then change all the other digits to zeros. And you'll see how many zeros you need. Be careful with the amount of zeros you get. So my answer is 7 10,000s, and in digits it is 70,000. You don't have to put a comma on, but if you do, it goes 3 from the end. 1, 2, 3, there's your thousands comma. 70,000. That's number 11 done. Question 12. We've got a more than, just like we had yesterday. It's not the same question, the numbers are different, but it's a more than, which means plus. Hopefully you're learning that more than means plus. But watch out for the trick question, how many more, because that actually means minus. But more than means plus. 2,867 more than 2,867. So we're going to add them. This is actually the same as doing 2,867 times 2. But we're doing plus, we'll stick with plus. 7 and 7 is 14. 6 and 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 8 and 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 2 and 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Let's check over that while you're copying it, if you're with me. I think that's okay, 5,734. Let's do question 13 underneath. This is a minus 3,333. Goes on the top because it's bigger than 1,218. Let's do this minus. 3 take away 8 you can't do. This 3 can help. This 3. 13 take away 8 is 5. 2 take away 1 is 1. 3 take away 2 is 1. 3 take away 1 is 2. Do that a bit quick, so I'll check over it. 2,115, because minus makes things smaller. That's why the top number gets smaller when we get to the end. Hopefully you're keeping up with the copying, and let's go to question 14. $2,584. I'm actually going to check this on the grid method, so let's give myself a bit of space to do that later. 2,584 times 5. So standard method first. This is called the standard method. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 2 is 42. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 is 29. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. Now, I'm like you, I don't really like checking what I've done. I doubt there's many of you who like checking what you've done. So in some ways, I actually prefer to do a different method to check what I've done. It's just a little more interesting. I don't really like checking what I've done, but I've learned over the years how important it is. And I've watched so many children who don't check lose so many points that they deserve to get. Because they can do the maths, they just don't check. So always check. If you want to get good scores, you're going to do better if you check. Just because you're usually right, it doesn't mean you shouldn't check, because you're sometimes wrong. 5 times 2 is 10. Place 3 zeros. 5 times 5 is 25. Place 2 zeros. 5 times 8 is 40. Place 1 0. 5 times 4 is 20. I wonder if I can add this up in my head. 10,000. Yeah, that's going to be right. But I will show you the addition anyway. I'm really squeezing this in to fit it in. Pretty sure it's going to add up to the one above, because there's no carrying at all, is there? It's really an easy addition. We're just adding up our 4 pink answers. I changed it to red, but not for any particular reason. 12920, 12920, yeah. 12,920, that's what we've got. I'm happy with that because I've done 2 methods, pretty sure I'll be right. Right, that takes a long time. Next one doesn't take long at all. And the bus stop is a powerful, powerful friend for you in maths. At the moment, we're just doing this with the bus stop, but later you'll see how much it can do for you to save you time in maths. Bus stop for division, 4,865 divided by 5. How many 5s in 4? None. 5 can't fit into 4, so we carry the 4. How many 5s in 48? A lot. I'll count my 5s, I won't go past 48. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. My finger said 9 when I got to 45. I couldn't have counted any more, I would have gone past 48. But I sang to 45, that says 48. 46, 47, 48. The remainder is 3. How many 5s in 36? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. My finger said 7. Got me to 35, but that's 36. So there's 1 I didn't use. How many 5s in 15? Well, this fits perfectly. 5, 10, 15. Counted on my fingers. Finger said 3. 973. And we're on the year 6 level questions. Question 16. Value of the 8 in this number here. So I'm going to write the number out as you do. 352.548. This is the same as yesterday, same column. Because this is the units, which comes before the decimals, and of course tens and hundreds. Hundreds is the most significant column in this number. The biggest column is hundreds. But we're going to the small end, which is over here. That's the small end, the decimal end. And you get tenths, you get hundredths, and I guess you know what's next. Thousandths. So our answer is going to be 8 thousandths. Very small, 8 thousandths. It's like you got something, smashed it into 1,000 pieces, and you've only got 8 of those pieces. They're really titchy. 8 thousandths. You always get this sound when you're in the decimals. As a fraction, you'd write 8 over 1,000. Instead of 1 over 1,000, that's what it would be if it was a 1, but it's 8 over 1,000 because there's 8 in that column. And if you want to know the decimal, it is 0.008. I know that because I would write it underneath. 0.008. Did you know that fractions are basically the same as decimals? That's the fraction way of writing it. And that is the decimal way of writing it. 0.008. Let's move on to question 17. What's this? Addition. 49.27. Just line up your decimal point all the way down with addition and subtraction and division. 49.27 plus 3.97. 7 and 7 is 14. 9 and 2 is 11 plus 1 is 12. 9 and 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13. 4 and 1 is 5. 53.24. 53.24. I'm checking that in my head and I can see that it is right. 53.24. That wasn't too hard to check that one. 18 minus, line up the decimal point, 4.83, 2.97. Always line up this decimal point. 3 take away 7, don't get tricked. It's not 4 because we can't do it. 3 take away 7 you can't do. 8 can go down to a 7 and give them 1. 13 take away 7 is 6. 7 take away 9, can't do. Ooh, need more help. 4 goes down to a 3, gives them 1. 17 take away 9 is 8. 3 take away 2 is 1. So 4 and a bit take away 2 and a bit is 1 and a bit. It was nearly 3 that we took away. Yeah, 1.86 makes sense. And we're on question 19. Quite a big multiplication here. But at least we're only multiplying by 1 digit. Otherwise it would be a lot bigger. So this is really year 5 level and year 6 level multiplication. You may well get these in the SATs. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 3 is 43. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 is 29. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2, 22. 5 times 3 is 15. I can't even see that, I wrote that so messily. It's a 2, isn't it? 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2, yeah, that's a 2. Teach you to be neat. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 2 is 17. Right, comma would go there. Cross out these little ones. I'm going to check that answer. 172935. That's right. That was cheating a bit from me, wasn't it? Should check it myself. Oh, next question is a very similar question. Well, very similar number in the question. The answer is going to be very different. So we're going to do the bus stop down here. 34.895 divided by 5. So with bus stop decimals, you just line up the decimal point, just like you do in plus and minus. In times, it is a bit different. As you can see, we're not doing decimal times yet. So how many 5s in 3 is 0, carry the 3. How many 5s in 34 is 6, remainder 4. How many 5s in 48 is 9, remainder 3. How many 5s in 35 is 7, remainder 4. How many 5s in 45 is 9? 6.979. Going to put the answers on in a few seconds. 6.979 should be the last one. Yep. So you pause the video here so you can check your answers. Thanks for listening again, and I'll see you on day 9 next time.